NFL is you build and try to execute and be the best at the end of the season.
Let's welcome in our analytics expert, Cynthia Freeland, and our Super Bowl winning coach, Ryan Billick. Now, Coach, I want to start with you here because we know Bruce Arians more than ready for this challenge. He knows how good this opposing team is. But what adjustments do the Bucs need to make to really go up against the Chiefs the best way they can?
Well, when they played before, everybody's saying, well, what did they take away in terms of what can they do this next game? Sometimes it's just as important to know what you can't do. And what they can't do is play man coverage, okay? You saw that in the first half. Tyreek Hill went absolutely off. 269 yards total, 200. And here's why. The minute Patrick Mahomes sees this one-on-one coverage, he sees bump across the board. He recognizes there could be five-man pressure and a free safety in the middle of the field. He immediately puts the ball up because he knows he wins that matchup. Carlton Davis has no chance. Here again, looks kind of like two. Okay, I get it. I'm going to do my reads, but I'm going to keep an eye on it because I know Tyreek Hill, I've got him. We've seen this 1,000 times with this crossing route. The minute they came out of two, they came down to cover one. Free safeties in the middle of the field, he's useless. Carlton Davis cannot keep up with Tyreek. You don't have anybody that can keep up with Tyreek Hill. Now, same thing here. Look what happens. Okay, are they going to jump down into single high? I'm going to keep an eye. No, they stay in too deep. They buzz the linebacker out to Tyreek Hill. Now, they complete the pass. But Tampa Bay, who very well against Green Bay, rallied up and tackled the ball. Yeah, they moved the ball, and yeah, they caught the ball, but it wasn't a 70-yard touchdown, a 60-yard touchdown like they had. Let's remember, they converted to a little bit more zone coverage, didn't give up the big play. They lost by 3 points once they made the adjustment. It's unfathomable to me that Todd Bowles would come out and play any form or substantial amount of man against Tyreek Hill and Travis Kelce. I'd rather lose 70-0 than give up a big play.
It's funny that you talk about losing 70-0, give up those big plays, because Travis Kelce and Tyreek Hill have been pretty interchangeable in the slot. And up until last week, when we saw even more man than what we saw with the Bills, where, by the way, the Bills gave a ton of cushion, meaning more than 5 yards of space. That was an interesting problem because both Tyreek Hill and Travis Kelce then went off. Now, when you look to see where Tyreek Hill has been especially effective, it's been out of the slot. And so that will be interesting to see how Todd Bowles does defend this. You're right, last time it did not work out so well. They exploited those man-to-man situations. But when it comes down to it, then what? Then it becomes Travis Kelce?
All right, Cynthia, let's look at the other side here. So what do the Chiefs have to do to repeat and get another win in the biggest stage of the year?
Well, when you miss your left tackle, when Eric Fisher's gone, they're going to have to make adjustments. Because if you saw what happened last week, Todd Bowles dialed up the pressure. Of course, the Packers, they were missing their left tackle, too. So what you saw was JPP just go out there and have a ton of pressures. He had 4 pressures, 2 sacks. That was a big problem, a big shift for Aaron Rodgers. So dialing up this pressure, and by the way, it could also be Shaquille Barrett, but it was just happened to be JPP who really got the best of Billy Turner last week. So ultimately in this one, what are you going to do without Eric Fisher? Those adjustments are going to be a big key to whether or not they can repeat.
Yeah, let's remember that Spagnuolo, the defensive coordinator for the Chiefs, was the defensive coordinator of the New York Giants when they played Tom Brady in 2007 and all those explosive plays. And he recognizes, he feels like he probably has some people that can get home with a 4-man rush, move Brady off his mark. And again, sound like a broken record. Don't give up the big play, because where Tom Brady has been brilliant, I'll play small ball, I'll run the ball. But the minute you give me an opportunity, and I'm going to get opportunities if you go man or if you go single high, and I'm going to get it to Godwin, I'm going to get it to Evans, I'm going to get it to Antonio Brown if he plays. So, by the way, let's throw in Gronk. So, yeah, kind of the same thing. Let's just don't give up the big play. If I'm Steve Spagnuolo, I'll make them go the distance. The difference is they can play 2-deep man. Tampa Bay can't play 2-deep man against Mahomes because he's going to run all over the place. Brady's not going anywhere. So they've got, Spagnuolo's got another shot in his pistol, so to speak, to say, I can play a little bit more 2-deep man, protect those things down the field, double up and bracket, because obviously Brady's not going anywhere.
Whew. He sure isn't, Coach. All right, thank you both for that insight. I hope everybody was paying attention there. All right, Rams head coach Sean McVay was quick to acknowledge the team would be undergoing serious evaluation at all positions after the Rams' postseason defeat against the Packers. Those evaluations, though, usually start at quarterback. GM Les Snead said today, quote, Jared Goff is a Ram in this moment, and I said it's way too early to speculate the future. That's a beautiful mystery. Matthew Stafford is set to become the latest Detroit Lions star to leave the club in his early 30s. Detroit is expected to trade Stafford this offseason. Former Lions running back and Hall of Famer Barry Sanders joined Good Morning Football today, and he said he understands why the Lions and Stafford agreed to part ways this offseason.
It sounds like both parties were at that point. It'll be tough to replace a guy like Matt Stafford, who's really, I feel like in a lot of ways carried the franchise for the last decade. Maybe because of the new regime coming in and just seeing things different. Things like this sometimes happen, and I know Matt has a lot of good football left in him.
There could be a couple quarterbacks on the move for multiple reasons this offseason. Here are just a few. As we mentioned, Stafford there likely to be out of Detroit. Drew Brees and Ben Roethlisberger could retire, and reports are Deshaun Watson wants out of Houston. Could Mitch Trubisky and Sam Darnold be out of Chicago and New York? And, of course, trade speculation is swirling in Green Bay and Los Angeles. And, Rob, I'll send it over to you and the guys for Players Only.
There you go, MJ. We're here for a little Players Only here with Coach Billick and D. Hall. So, guys, we're talking about quarterback leverage, right? How much leverage does a quarterback really have, right? D. Hall, I'm going to start this one off with you. How much leverage do NFL quarterbacks have in today's NFL?
Well, Rob, that's kind of a loaded question, right? Because it kind of depends who the quarterback is. I think you wouldn't have thought a guy like Carson Wentz could get a coach fired, and a coach that just won a Super Bowl for a city like Philadelphia. But that's happened. And on the reverse end of that, you look at Deshaun Watson, who has seen his number one receiver, who is an all-pro player, get traded away, has seen draft capital walk out the door to try to get his football team better. And then he saw a former team chaplain hired. He saw an interview process that really wasn't taken serious. And, he was supposed to be consulted. I think a lot of times as professional athletes, I know me personally, I'm a very loyal guy. As long as you keep it real with me, even if it's something I don't like, if you keep it real with me and you're honest, I can take that. Just like Deshaun Watson, they told him one thing, and now it's a bridge that I don't know if they can get back across it.
Yeah, D. Hall, I don't know if that bridge can be crossed as well up there in Houston, and I think it's really, I think he just mistrusts the front office. Yeah. And then you talk about what's going on out there in Philly, man. Oh my goodness, man. I mean, you talk about Carson Wentz, 73 turnovers in 68 games. And you still pay them. See, I think it all starts from the pay scale, the pay market for our quarterbacks in the National Football League. I think the pay scale is broken. It just seems like who's ever the next guy up gets the big money. And then it happens if the guy doesn't pan out, then you're stuck with a big contract, and owners and front office people are made to make some tough decisions. And you look at in Philly, I don't care what nobody say. They chose the quarterback over Doug Peterson. So, Coach, I want to bring you into this conversation. What's your thoughts on the leverage that quarterbacks have in today's National Football League?
Well, your best player and the player you're going to pay the most money to certainly is going to have a certain amount of leverage. The most leverage they had is that, and we're already seeing it as we go forward, particularly in a year where the cap may actually go down a little bit, is you're going to go to your biggest money player and you're going to go to bank Aaron Rodgers. You're going to go to bank Patrick Mahomes and say, look, can we convert some of your money into guaranteed money? That increases the cap space. You get more money up front. So, yeah, that does give you a little bit of leverage in that regard. But this is not the NBA. This is not where quarterbacks can say, okay, I want to dictate who you're going to draft. I want to dictate how you're going to use that money. I'll let you have a little bit of my money. You're going to have to guarantee a little bit more of it, and I hope you use it wisely.
Yeah, but Coach, wouldn't you say, too, as being a leader in that locker room, one of the voices, right, that's supposed to be duplicated from you as the head coach, I should be able to voice your message. And I probably got a pretty good pulse on what's going on in this locker room and what we need. I just think so much, too, about the whole Deshaun Watson situation. And, how do you get better? You're a football team who doesn't have a lot of draft capital, who doesn't have a lot of money. You paid your quarterback. In the midst of all of that, he still goes out and plays excellent football.
Balls out.
How do you rectify that?
Yeah, well, simple. You recognize and for Deshaun Watson, obviously whoever the coach is going to be, and however they didn't consult him before, and that's a mistake. You give a guy $156 million, he's a partner. If you don't consult your partner, that's a mistake. Yeah. But now the new coach will come in, the general manager say, look, here's our plan. This is what we're going to do. This is exactly how we're going to implement it. And again, I just can't, whether it's Aaron Rodgers, Deshaun Watson, I just can't conceive that these teams are going to let these unbelievable talents leave the locker room, leave the team. It's just not going to happen.
MJ, we're going to send this one back on over to you. I think we're all in agreement that NFL quarterbacks today have a lot of leverage.
Thanks, M-Rob. All right, time to check out the nominees for the Pepsi Zero Sugar Rookie of the Year. Here are the nominees. Chargers quarterback Justin Herbert, Washington pass rusher Chase Young, Jaguars running back James Robinson, Colts running back Jonathan Taylor, and Vikings receiver Justin Jefferson. Go to NFL.com to vote. The winners